3, 2, 1. This is how we feel. 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 All right, welcome in, guys. Welcome to another episode of This Is How We Feel, a podcast where we look at a piece of media and tell you how we feel. Today, it is me, Justin Vignes, here with my lovely Babe. He will be known as Babe, but his real name is Louis for those of you all trying to look for him. And we got...
You know it's your boy R Dizzle on the mic. Ryan Diaz here.
All right, so we just got done watching one of my favorite films ever for my birthday weekend, Neverending Story.
Yes.
It was great. Before we go on to this movie, because we have a lot to talk about, we're just going to give Taylor her 30 seconds of the week. Taylor, what you got for us on Taylor's
Bachelor Breakdown? Bachelor Breakdown.
All right, Taylor, your time starts now.
Hashtag ChampagneGate is the hashtag moving into this episode. Hannah Ann called Kelsey a bully. The girls all dress up in lingerie and have a pillow fight. One of the girls calls it lingerie. Victoria P gets a one-on-one date and they go line dancing. Peter's a snitch and can't keep a secret that any of the girls tells him. Alea, the pageant queen, gets sent home and pulls a Luke P and seems to return in next week's episode, as well as Chase Rice in a former fling.
Yeah, and that you still have 4 seconds. Anything you want to say?
Bye.
That's a time. Wow, Taylor, you fit it all in there. Congrats. Okay, it was a really boring episode, is what she said. Wow.
Oh my god, damn. A lot of stuff is happening this week. I might jump into The Bachelor.
Every episode, I like it a little more. Last week with the champagne thing, that was just too fucking funny.
That was great. It gave us a nice little screenshot for our video.
Just a little taste.
Yeah, today's was extra juicy.
Go back and watch episode 3's video again and look at the actual YouTube screen when we get to the Bachelor Breakdown, because there is a GIF in there. Well, a picture of the champagne girl getting messed up.
Yeah, it was definitely worth the watch. All right, so we're talking about the Never-Ending Story today.
The Never-Ending Story.
I was trying to get them to guess where this film was located and filmed at. So Ryan gave his final answer as, what did you say, Ryan?
I said for the desert scenes and the beach scene, I said Italy or Spain.
And Babe's answer to the beach and desert scenes?
Mine was Egypt.
All right. Well, I am sorry to give this to you, Babe, but it was Spain. San Jose, Spain, filmed at Monso Beach.
The desert, too?
The desert as well. I guess they got deserts. I had no idea.
So here's what I did. I went onto like a European like topography map.
That's not even fair, because I didn't even look at anything.
Well, he did ask. In the middle of the movie, he was like, can I look at the world map? And I was like, yeah, you can know what our world looks like.
And so I just wanted to see if they had both desert and, because I know that this was shot in Europe. Like there's 100%, dude.
Yeah, you were screaming that this was a European film. All right, so then the real scenes, like the streets and the school. Your answer, Ryan, was
Canada, and I was shouting it the entire time. It just looks Canadian. There's no American vibes there.
And then, Babe, what do you think?
Yeah, I can concur.
He's gonna double down on Canada. The school and street shots were shot in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh my god, we got it!
Yeah, good job. You were really adamant too. I was so proud.
For a second when you said Vancouver, I was like, is it Vancouver, Washington? Because I'll kill myself. But
oh yeah,
you got it. You got that one.
Disappointment. And then the rest of the film was shot in Bavaria Studios in Munich.
Wait.
Germany. Is that Germany?
Germany. What did you guess, Ryan?
I think I locked in Germany at one point, but I think my final was like Switzerland.
Oh no, your final was Switzerland or Germany. That was your second choice.
Okay, good. Then I did lock it in.
So you did half get that one.
Wow. Okay, I'll say I'm 2.5 for 3.
Yeah, 2.5. Because did you get Spain? No, that was your second one too.
Wow, you did great.
And Babe's answer was...
Mine was either Sweden or Switzerland.
Yeah, understandable. They do have a lot of mountains. There were a lot of like snow-capped mountains. I did not know they had that in Germany.
And that giant pond, lake.
Yeah.
It's just so pretty.
Yeah, I guess they're...
In Epcot, Orlando, what is the place that the Anna and Elsa ride is at now? That used to be that troll ride?
That's in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what this had very Norway themes, and I was leaning Norwegian 100% the entire time.
Yeah, especially with like the mountain ranges and stuff like that.
Now that I know that it's German, it still kind of works. I mean, they also have very big troll things going on, I guess. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think
I'm with
Germans have a bunch of like troll mythology in their shit.
it's like a Dutch cap. You know what I mean? It's like it's encompassing of all those kind of European countries.
Yeah, like the Eastern European vibe. Because Babe was asking during the movie, like, is there like any obvious references in here? And I would say the trolls, like the rock trolls specifically, are the German like reference. But I wasn't sure
Right.
exactly, so I wouldn't want to be like, yes, so of course, it's all over the place, and then you thinking that like the dragon is part of it or something like that.
Yeah, it seemed like they were pulling from a lot of different places from the lore. I want to say some of the people that were in the Ivory Temple or whatever that thing is called, the giant flower thing at the top. I want to say some of those people were also like monsters or like lore from those kind of mythology, from like the German mythology.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like all those like multi-faced guys and like the huge
or like
guys.
that dude that's like a head. Yeah, exactly, a head on a pillar that's just like walking around, can't get upstairs, that type of thing. I feel like that might be German too, but I have no basis for that. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, exactly. So this was originally a novel published in '79 by a German writer, Michael Ende, who was a very famous writer whose works has been sold more than 35 million copies, translated into more than 40 languages. He doesn't really have any known things for like Americans. That's like super mainstream. All of his books are German, lots of like unrecognizable titles. But it wasn't translated into English until 4 years later in 1983 by Ralph Mannheim.
Didn't this movie come out like a year after that?
1 year. Yeah, good.
Damn.
Started filming like at that time, so
Yeah.
this is a
Well,
very
that's
complex
what I'm
movie.
They
saying.
snatched
That's
it up fast.
that's the whole reason I knew this couldn't be an American movie, because they're so like it you can tell that it's like, okay, they wanted this to be for two audiences and they split it between the puppets and the actors. So like they probably had a German cast and an American, or a German cast and like an English speaking cast.
Right, yeah. That was a good catch. You were screaming this was in a different language.
Because it's obvious, like the puppet mouths are like, the puppet moving mouths are like very vague, like that you can fill in a lot of stuff as far as the voiceovers go.
Mhm.
And then like I feel like a lot of the actors they used didn't seem I don't know. I don't want to say like American, but they seem a little bit more foreign than we're used to in our own Hollywood cinema. I guess is a good way to put
Is
it.
George Lucas American?
Yes,
I don't
but
know.
he only pulls from British pools of
That's what I'm
actors.
saying. And I
Yeah.
don't know, that style is very like not from like where we're at.
For the prequels, I want to say he did that mostly because he was in New Zealand for most of the shoots, but also because he wanted it to be like a
Renaissance
nice,
feel, right?
Yeah, Renaissance feel. So and you want to get classical Shakespearean actors for that, and a lot of those are British.
It was translated by Ralph Mannheim, who was a German translator who first reached his early fame in translating by translating the famous Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler.
Ooh, shit.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
That's ballsy.
we already
You know
got
what?
some Hitler connections.
yeah.
That's a good way to quantify this movie, because that means that dude has been working maybe 30, 40 years, and that means barely 30, 40 years before this movie came out, Hitler was around.
Yeah, that really tells you about the time and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that has to do with like the over impending doom of this movie, the theme of like everything's gonna fucking end.
Yeah, I feel you.
So yeah, like you called it, it was just 1 year later that it was directed and released as a film in 1984. Directed and co-written by Wolfgang Petersen, a German film director, producer, and screenwriter. This was his first English language film. Sorry, all his previous movies were in German.
So it was just a purely English shot film.
Yes, it was purely English when it was shot, but almost everybody working on the movie was German or other European influences.
Okay.
He had just came off of his first huge success called Das Boot, a World War II submarine warfare film, which was nominated for 2 Academy Awards.
Das Boot.
So
Isn't that what they call the boot that you drink beer out of?
Oh my god, yes, the giant glass boot.
Yeah, that's the Das Boot.
Glass Boot from where?
I don't know.
From
time ago when I was
there's
it's like a German
a beer fest movie or something.
Oh.
Oh,
Where
Oktoberfest?
this team of but these like group of guys, it's like all the guys from Super Troopers,
Uh-huh.
and they like drink a bunch of beer. You never seen Super Troopers?
No.
No, I've never seen that.
Am I thinking of the right movie? Super Troopers?
No, is it like one or two? I feel like there's more than one of those.
Hmm?
Super Troopers.
You're talking about Oktoberfest?
There's definitely more
That's
than one
the-
Super Trooper, but I remember the Oktoberfest movie when it came out, but I never saw it. It was a whole movie about drinking beer, and I was like a teenager.
Yeah,
at
and,
the time.
and there's a scene in that movie where they talk about Das Boot. Like, there's like a whole theme, and Das Boot is like the last challenge, and like to drink Das Boot right, you have to tilt the boot in the right direction, or else the air bubble will come and pop in your face.
I like that. I like that you guys knew about that,
But
because
like,
I just figured it was
an
a...
actual boot in there because I've seen like a glass boot that's called Das Boot, and I think the same.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a glass boot.
Yeah, it's probably like a phrase, and then they like just turned it literal, like into a boot eventually afterwards.
I see what you're saying. So Das Boot in German probably means something war related, but Das Boot as a joke is the boot.
Yeah, and you said something about the last stand, so that's probably what it means. Like, Das Boot is the last stand of World War II, because it's the whole warfare film about World War II.
Wow, I don't want to give Oktoberfest that much credit for thinking that far ahead, but that sounds right. That's good.
But yeah, it's thematically appropriate. So after this, Wolfgang Petersen went on to make many famous films. First one was Enemy Line, starring Dennis Quaid.
I love Dennis Quaid.
Okay, I thought you were gonna recognize the movie Enemy Line, Enemy Mine.
I've never seen Enemy Lines, but I love Dennis
But I
Quaid.
know Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, everybody knows Dennis Quaid. We got In the Line of Fire.
No.
I don't know
Does he do a lot of
old
war
movies, so I'm
movies?
gonna pause after each one just to make sure you guys do know or
Does
anything.
Is it just war movies that he's part of? Like,
It's a
No, he
very
was in Jaws.
themed. You can once I get to the end of the list, you'll see his
I think he was,
style.
like, in Jaws, like, 3. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Who?
This is the director,
I thought
Wolfgang
I
Petersen.
was thinking about Dennis Quaid.
all right, rattle him.
Dennis Quaid was in a lot of his movies, though. So, In the Line of Fire, 1993, starring Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, Rene Russo. Next one he did was Outbreak, which has an outbreak of fucking stars. Dennis Hoffman, Rene Russo, Morgan Freeman, Cuba Gooding Jr., Kevin Spacey, Donald Sutherland, and Patrick Dempsey.
Okay.
Wow.
Air Force One. You guys heard of that one?
Air Force Ones.
97, starring Harrison Ford, Gary Oldman, Glenn Close.
Oh.
And then The Perfect Fucking Storm, 2000, starring George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, John C. Reilly.
I didn't see that either.
Okay.
Oh, that was one of my movies growing up. We gotta watch that one. That's a good like disaster movie to watch. It's
We need to watch
ridiculous.
Twister.
Twister is definitely gotta be part of
That's a good disaster movie
the
too.
disaster movie. Yeah,
We should make a whole other list.
Shouldn't it be
Disaster
called
movie
Twister?
podcast.
Or just
There's
watch
more than one Twister, right?
in the movie.
Yeah, or is it just the one
It's just
Twister?
called Twister.
But there's only one Twister, or it's like multiple all
It's
over the place.
multiple. It's like, I mean, it's throughout the whole movie. There's like different like events where there's a Twister.
Oh, yeah, they should call it Twisters.
I just,
The sequel.
I just
Plural.
came up with another podcast idea that we should get somebody to do,
What?
and it's like all disaster movies.
Including
Oh
Sharknado.
yes. There's
Every week they
too
do
many
a
disaster
disaster
movies,
movie.
and they're all so bad that like you could talk for hours
Yeah.
about it.
We just watched The Day After
Yeah.
Tomorrow the other day.
We watched it on New Year's Eve,
Oh, that's wild.
What'd you watch?
the day after tomorrow.
Oh my god, that
Isn't that
movie
the most
is
appropriate movie to watch on New
It
Year's
is so
Eve?
wild.
that movie is the hottest mess of success I've
It
ever
was
seen in my life.
wild. I was screaming.
I
the
love
ending,
that
not to
movie.
spoil it because
It's
I know
so
we're gonna do it
bad.
for the pod, but like the ending was so ridiculous.
Yeah, saw
I love that
in
movie so much that I
theaters.
hate
But
it.
That theater was so packed that we were sitting on the floor.
You
Like-
watched
Wait,
a lot of movies
what?
in theaters,
Yeah. it was
You
ridiculous.
watched A
This
Day
was-
After Tomorrow in theaters,
right?
Yeah, it was.
And
like-
then furthermore, that movie was so packed you had to sit on the floor.
yeah, that's when that was a long time ago when I used to live in Puerto Rico, and there was
Oh, okay,
like.
well.
Did you watch it in Spanish?
It was in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
no.
It was in
Okay.
Spanish too.
No, it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't.
Oh.
There were a lot of movies that I saw in Spanish because other people would want to watch in Spanish.
Yeah, there were a lot of like kids shows where I'll know the theme song and he'll know the Spanish theme song,
Yeah.
like Dragon
Wow.
Tales.
Oh my god, yeah.
What's the Dragon Tale Spanish theme song?
Please give it to me. I'll sing the English
Give it
one
to
real
me.
quick.
Is this what we're doing now?
Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales.
Dragon Tales. Es hora ya de Dragon Tales. Ven aquí, sígueme a la tierra del drago. Whoa.
Wow, so they're
Oh,
saying the same
God.
thing, and it
Yes,
still
I mean,
somehow rhymes.
It's funny because it's Dragon Tales, but I mean, we say dragones, like it's dragon, so it's basically dragon, but it's tails, like, but that's the tails in Spanish.
Do you say the word tails
I feel
in
like
there or no?
I feel like that's how they say it. I don't remember now, but
Wow.
I always remember it being like that.
At least it's the same melody where like we can connect on like
Yeah.
how to sing it, just like
Yeah.
different
I mean,
words.
there's a lot of Spanish songs or a lot of English songs that were translated into Spanish. Like if you listen to Christina Aguilera,
Right.
like she has a lot of songs or several songs that she
What?
kind of like yeah, she has like Genie in a Bottle has like a Spanish version. It's called Genio Atrapado.
Hello, Hedra,
Yeah, and then some of the lyrics change here and there.
Is she Spanish?
I know she's something.
Aguilera sounds like Aguilar, which is an eagle,
I
right?
don't know. That's Spanish.
But the whole point of Aguilar is a eagle.
Yeah, Aguilar.
The whole point
Aguilar.
to me
Aguilar.
of Christina Aguilera's music, though, is to hear Christina Aguilera sing. So if someone's translating it and singing it for her, I don't want that.
But she herself did it.
Is her singing it? Okay, that's good. So
Oh,
that's like Lo
good
Que
for
Soy.
her.
There's the song "Come On Over." She sings that in Spanish.
Come
too.
on over, come on
Ven
over,
conmigo,
baby.
ven conmigo, ven,
Oh, it
ven.
fits.
I like that.
So the real question is, does she speak Spanish and she's just trying to get her Spanish bitches involved, or is she not Spanish and she's just trying to branch out?
She's from Staten Island, New York.
Mm.
But where are her parents?
Yeah, maybe she's like Latin by heritage, but like not by like directly.
Lo que soy.
But we can go back to the Neverending Story.
But yeah, okay. So finishing that tangent on Christina Aguilera, we love her so much. If you're listening, Christina, we love you. After the perfect fucking storm, Peterson, what was his name? Wolfgang Peterson made Troy, 2004, starring Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom, Sean Bean. Yes. And then the last credit, Poseidon, 2006,
Oh,
Kurt Russell,
wow.
Emmy Rossum.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he's been-
just looking
he's-
at all these, you can kind of see that they're very serious, war-themed films. Lots of
Has
action
he
going
since
on.
passed away?
Who?
Wolfgang Peterson?
Has he since passed away?
I want to say no, but now I have to look it up because I don't have anything specifically about that.
It's 2020 and his last film was in 2006. I feel like he might have been running out of money by now, making another movie.
Wolfgang Peterson is not dead, guys. He's still kicking.
Oh, thank God.
But ever since 2006 Poseidon, he's only made German films. He's gone back to
Oh.
his German roots.
Poseidon, the boat.
Yeah, the boat one. Yeah, where the whole boat flips over.
Wow, Fergie was in that.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
Jesus
She was the
Christ.
lounge singer.
Oh God. Oh, but like in the beginning when everything was good, did she like continue to be one of the survivors?
Did everyone else survive? I don't think so. I think it was just that little group left, like 3 people.
Yeah, I was wondering if Fergie was in the group, but like was she a
No.
main actor?
No,
Okay.
She was.
Cool.
I think everyone in that lounge was done.
Gotcha. No speaking lines for Fergie.
Unless there was like a portal somehow.
Why
Oh.
did they even get her to sing?
Oh, are we making the sequel now?
No.
Yeah, no thank
The
you.
Never-
Don't want to see
Story.
Fergie in a movie.
No. We were just watching that video of the national anthem.
Oh my God.
He shushed me.
Proof.
Yeah.
You gotta love
I hate
Fergie,
her
though.
so
like,
much.
She tried. It was a terrible moment. You know.
You said she tried?
She definitely did try. She
Yeah.
I
committed.
didn't see none of that happen on stage. Oh, I saw a commitment to mediocrity.
Ooh.
That's a Fergie burn.
Okay.
That's a Fergie burn.
Until we,
First of many.
before we start dissing more stars.
First of many of the Fergie burns.
So as you guys know, there is a second one and a third one. So this film only adapts the first half of the original book. The second half of the book was then used as the rough basis for the second film, Neverending Story 2, The Next Chapter.
It was a rough basis.
Yeah, so I don't know how accurate, it is on the book.
Gotcha.
So the third film, The Neverending Story 3, Escape from Fantasia, features an original plot not based on the book. So the original guy I mentioned, Michael End, the writer of the original German kids book, felt that this adaptation's content deviated so far from the spirit of his book that he requested the production either be halted or the film's title be changed. And when the producers did neither, he sued them and subsequently lost the case.
He lost the case?
He sure did. And
Because he already gave them rights, right?
Yeah, exactly. He'd already given the rights and everything, but now that he doesn't like it, basically, he wants to change everything. He called the film a gigantic melodrama of quiche, I'm sorry. There's a lot of
German.
quiche, commerce, plush, and plastic.
The third
Oh,
one.
really?
No, just the original one. He just did
That's
not
what
like
I'm
how they
saying.
portrayed it. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah, makes me
Wait,
kind of
who
sad,
are we
right?
talking about here? Who didn't like it?
No,
The
I'm glad he
original-
lost the case.
The original writer of the German book.
Oh.
It was then translated into English and then made into a film.
And he didn't like it.
He
Here's
did not
my
like this
biggest
book.
thing.
I mean, this movie.
When you're making... We talked about this a little bit with The Grinch.
Mhm.
When you have a property and you know it's good, and especially if it's in book, and it's being turned into a film, there's gonna be changes made. You're gonna have to let some things go. So in this case, yes, I'm a little upset that the movie that was created out of his book wasn't up to his standards, but the movie itself was good for what it was. And if it, at its essence, still told the story, then I'm with it. I liked the movie. I like Neverending Story.
Wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, this movie was amazing. It was a magical journey. That's what I
I'm glad
signed
he
up
lost
for.
that lawsuit. If you give someone rights to do something and they make something and you don't like it, that's tough luck, bro.
Yeah. It's
I'm
tough luck,
sorry.
but like obviously this is probably on the lower end of that scale where they probably, cushed up a little bit. Maybe the dragon wasn't supposed to be so fluffy. Maybe some things weren't supposed to be so kid friendly, but it definitely can be way worse. I've seen things like, adaptations where it's like nothing like the original.
Right. They obviously tried really hard to do whatever they were doing. So
Exactly.
I don't know. I think he needs to give them more credit.
I don't know if this is what the book feels like or entails or anything like that, but this story felt good and complete. So
I mean, I can't read German, but
right. But one day we might read it just to see what's all the hullabaloo about.
the hullabaloo.
I know that I would be pissy too. Like I'd be really mad if I made something and someone made something.
But like
I'm
the
like,
thing
no,
is
that's
that,
not what I want.
Like he basically gave them the rights.
Yeah.
Correct?
Exactly.
So like you can't expect to like keep everything 100 when it's no longer in your control. Like it's just
And it's not like it sounds like he just basically signed them over the rights. Like you are the creator. You have the control to be like, okay, you can have the rights, but I have the last creative say on everything.
Yeah.
And if he would have put that into the contract at the beginning, he wouldn't have had the problem that he had at the end.
Yep. And not that I agree with him or anything, but it is nice. It's nice to think about what his movie would look like in an alternate universe if he made the movie himself. Like, what would be the difference? Is it more adult?
It would be bad.
Is it more, less magical, less depressing?
It would
I
be
wonder
bad.
what exactly he didn't like about it.
There's a reason why people write books and not movies, and there's a reason why people write movies and not books. It would be bad. Like 100%.
Ouch. All right. So, in 2009, Warner Bros. And Leonardo DiCaprio's film studio, Appian Way.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not that old.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo DiCaprio's film
DiCaprio.
studio, Appian Way, were in the early stages of creating another adaptation of N's book.
Oh.
They intended to examine the more nuanced details of the book rather than remake the original film by Peterson. And in 2011, the producer in charge of said remake, Kathleen Kennedy, said that the problem securing the rights to the story may mean a second adaptation is not meant to be.
Girl.
Yes.
Kennedy
Kathleen goddamn Kennedy.
She needs to get out. I'm sorry. But like
What's
I
up with
feel
Kathy
like
Kennedy?
She's the president of Lucasfilm. And
Yeah.
she's like stressing everyone out.
And she was the producer of the remake that was trying to happen in 2011, but wasn't able
That's
to
since
secure
been
it.
canceled?
Like, I
Yep.
have nothing against her, but it's caused like so much controversy. Like in the past, like when did Force Awakens come out? 2015.
24, yeah,
2015.
Yep.
Like it hasn't like it's been 5 years, and so much negativity has like, what's the word? Flowed like around her, like this like negative aura cloud. And look at this. Now we're hearing that shit wasn't able to get done because she was in charge.
Yep.
But what was her what is the issue we're having with her though?
It
Like,
said
with
that
Force Awakens?
the producer in Force Awakens, that's a whole different story.
I believe it was like all the it's not like necessarily like all the creative control that she had, but there was a lot of things that she had like the say in, and certain things just weren't able to get done because she gets like a very big say in stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember
I see.
specific things.
Yeah,
but I
not
know
right
there were a
now,
lot of
but-
things that were like blocked, where like Kathleen Kennedy was like, no, we can't do
At
that.
some point, we'll bring it to light.
But just in the grand scale of themes, when you think about Marvel and like their very successful franchise have been going over a long time, it's because Kevin Feige is pre-planning all the the storyboard, the whole large scale picture, the macro.
And that's something that they don't that Kathleen Kennedy I feel like can't grasp.
hasn't been doing as much.
She
like
can't do that. Yeah.
you don't have a story plan for
Yeah.
all three movies
Exactly,
in a
like-
trilogy. Like it's fine if you have different directors and different tones
Yeah.
between them, but you don't know what's going to happen in the third movie when you're making your first one.
Exactly.
How are you setting
No,
anything
yeah.
up?
Or like the
100%.
slightest idea, just to make the movies, just to know that they're going to be made, or that we need to push them out by a certain date. Like that's the problem. Like,
Yeah.
we need to like
I
put
know-
more passion into it.
I personally know how stressful it is wanting to keep a string of continuity through how everything that you're making. But it's also the difference between something that is obviously quality and it feels thought out than something that's like, oh well, we got a new director, new writer, new story. Like
and now we're just gonna react to the last film and try to like make it match. Yeah, if Kathleen Kennedy can't figure this shit out, we should remake this movie because I know we would do it justice, honey.
This movie is like it has so much potential. Like I'm not gonna lie, like watching it, I was just like, okay, the story itself didn't pull me in too much, but the idea of it and
the world building is
exactly
so intricate.
Like
it's
like it could
so
be
detailed.
If made like today, it could be like so beautiful. Like
so
I have
good.
like these images just in my mind right now, and.
Not to despair like the movie's holding up though, because it did do a really good job.
That's
Everything
true.
was so well made that even today I'm looking at it like, okay, it still looks good. It's obviously old, but it looks good.
Yeah, like everything matches. It's not like, oh, this monster doesn't match with the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Like maybe the
Right.
puppets look a little bit funny when they talk, but like they all make a cohesive world together.
Exactly.
Our main character, Bastian Balthasar Bucks. I don't know when they mentioned his middle name or last name.
It's funny because when the dad first said Bastian, I was like, did I miss something? Is it Sebastian? But he just calls him Bastian. But I guess he's just Sebastian.
Just Bastian. So he was.
I didn't even know his name until the Empress says it at the end.
Yeah, I think the
They
dad
only
said
said
it
it, like,
once.
once.
The dad said it once, and
Yeah.
that's it. We're on our own. But he was played by Barrett Oliver. The only other thing that he's known for is Cocoon and Cocoon the Return.
Oh,
I don't think any of
God,
us have
Cocoon
seen
gets
that.
coming back up in this
sequels
podcast.
Of the Neverending Story? Is he
No, I'm sorry. He gets
Aw.
replaced.
not?
Yeah.
Replaced?
His ass gets replaced in the second one. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh my God.
Did he ask for too much money?
I don't know what the story is about that. Oh, no, I do know, actually. It was because when they made the next movie, I think it was like 5 to 10 years later.
Oh,
Oh,
the
and he
kid
was
gra-
old.
they grew up,
Like,
yeah.
Right after.
Yeah.
Yep. So they had to get someone
Wow.
new.
That's crazy.
Atreyu
What's his
was
name?
played by...
Wait. What's that kid's name?
His name was Barrett Oliver.
Barry Oliver. What else is he in?
Barrett Oliver was only in Cocoon and Cocoon the Return. He
Oh,
didn't really
just those two?
Yeah, he didn't do much after that. He was
Okay.
I'm assuming he was a kid in that one too, because I think he was just like a kid actor and retired at some point.
Cocoon keeps coming up on this podcast.
It does, yeah. It came up in like the first episode. Somebody recorded.
The last
or-
episode, I think. Or no, 2 episodes ago. Oh no, yeah, the first episode. No, it was the last episode.
So Atreyu was played by Noah Hathaway. No relation to Anne Hathaway, because that's the first thing I thought of.
wondered.
Yep.
I asked.
You asked in your mind's eye, and I answered before you can...
No, I asked at the beginning of the commentary.
If he was related?
It's so crazy. I feel like
Yeah,
when
to
you
Anne
have
Hathaway.
a more like kind of like well-known last name and you just don't even think about it and then you find out people are related. Like Melissa McCarthy and Jenny McCarthy, they're related.
I didn't
They
know
didn't know?
that.
Yeah, they're related. Emma Roberts and Julia Roberts are related.
I was surprised at that one. The Bryce Dallas Howard things surprised me as
John
well.
Cusack and Joan Cusack, obviously.
Cusacks.
The Cusacks. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very interesting, especially when you don't know. Yeah, you said the Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard and Bryce Dallas Howard, yep.
Yeah, cool stuff.
All right, Atreyu was played by Noah Hathaway. The only thing he did afterwards was Battlestar Galactica. So I bet if
Oh.
you're a fan of that, you're like, oh, he was the little boy from Blair. That's all he did afterwards. So Noah Hathaway was hurt twice during this movie.
I'm sure.
While learning to ride a
Uh-huh.
horse, his horse threw him off and then stepped on him.
Yeet.
Oh my god.
I know.
That hurts.
Come on, Artax.
Was it the same horse that he almost drowned? Because that's
yes.
probably why.
Yes, it was.
That's why.
So while shooting the drowning sequence in the Swamp of Sadness, his leg got caught on the elevator and he was pulled underwater. He was unconscious by the time that they brought him to the surface.
Oh my god, dude!
Yes, so I'm assuming they had like a platform for him to stand on. It
And
would
he
slowly
fell.
like lower
Oh.
in there, and then like it would look like he's standing but sinking, and then his leg got
Wow.
caught. So when he's supposed to start to float up, he's like getting dragged down underneath.
Wow.
Yeah, this dude
I
almost
hope
died.
they paid him like bang for this movie though,
I
because
know, right?
he almost died twice.
I know, bro. What the fuck?
He was actually gifted the horse 8 tracks at the end of the movie.
Oh,
Because of that, probably. I'd
Yeah.
take that horse too.
Yeah.
because now if it belongs to him, no one he can't sue anybody. It's his horse.
He didn't end
Oh,
up
so you're mad
taking-
that your own horse bucked you? Wow, bro. You're fucking dramatic.
Yeah, right. Now
It
you
wasn't
can't
my
sue
horse
us.
at first.
So Noah Hathaway won Best Performance by a Young Actor, and nowadays,
Oh, he did really good. Like that was like
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah.
He's well deserved.
the acting
Congrats.
really carried this movie.
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
like there was a lot of slow points, but like it really carried it. Like I'm glad he wasn't like a boring protagonist.
And he had a great scream. Like when he was screaming those lines, they were very believable. And that's like usually where child actors don't do so well. When they're trying to be mad or scared, that's usually when they're like not giving the correct emotion. Yeah. You know, shouting scaredly when you're supposed to be angry or anything like that.
Especially if
he was
like,
really
when you're
good.
trying to, like match up a face to like an actual like voice or something like in a scene.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of kids can do that.
He actually looked like terrified and scared when he needed to be.
I don't want to jump too into it, but Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace, that child, that's the perfect example of a horrible child actor.
Yeah, he would say his lines with the wrong emotion sometimes.
Yeah, that's.
It's
funny.
like it's hard for kids to have passion, and this kid, that did Atreyu had passion, and Jake Lloyd literally had none. And I don't want to put it all on Jake Lloyd because I know George Lucas was like, give me less emotion, but
I want
at
it
the
to
same
be
time,
drier.
It was pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, he was pretty much like the same as Hayden Christensen as older Anakin. That's kind of like the same kind of like vibe you get. So that's why it
Exactly,
works.
yeah.
So at least it kind of carries over.
yeah, it
Yeah.
works. It works in the dryness, but again, like, is that? But like, come on, dude.
Yeah, is that entertaining to watch? Am I having fun
Like-
while watching him deliver his lines as dry as possible? Yeah, that was a good one.
Adele made fun of it when she watched it yesterday.
It's so funny. I'm just like, who says that?
It's
Yeah, who the
working. It's working.
It's working.
Like
Oh
no
my
facial
God.
expression, just screaming.
Jesus Christ.
No, but I love him. I love him.
Oh,
Little
man.
Annie.
So,
Right.
both Barrett Oliver and Noah Hathaway, Bastian and Atreyu, were nominated for the Young Artist Award for Best Young Actor in a Motion Picture in 1985, but they lost.
Aw.
To who?
They
It's
lost
okay.
to Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even see that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie either. If I'm
But
just-
that's
Go
like
Anthony
Molly
Michael
Ringwald.
Hall.
I think that's Molly Ringwald.
Sure.
Oh, she's the girl in that movie?
I think so.
I've never seen that movie.
I think so. Yeah, no, it has to be her. I just think of my mom because she's a red hair.
And the dorky guy, I think his name is Egg or Duck or something.
Mm.
The
Never
dorky
mind.
guy from 16
Thanks.
Candles?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it
I know
either.
that Disney remade it with Debbie Ryan.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Why did they do that?
Well,
I was thinking of the
because
16 year.
That's 13th year.
Oh, the 13th year. Okay, that's the mermaid movie.
That movie used to make me sick.
Kristen Stewart makes like the smallest cameo in that movie.
Oh.
She's like they're like in a water fountain. He's like drinking all this water, and she's just like in line. Yeah, fun fact.
Wow. So Falkor was played by Alan Oppenheimer. He was the voice, and he was the scientist in Number 9, the movie, with all the little rag dolls.
Oh,
Like the one human
okay.
scientist.
The one
He-
that made them and like
Mhm.
gave his life for them. Okay.
Yeah, he only has speaking lines in that movie. Well, it's an animated movie, so everybody's just speaking, but he was also Skeletor in He-Man in the old series. He was Prometheus in God of War 2, the video games. He was
Whoa.
Mr. Blodgett in Gilmore Girls, I guess. I don't know who Mr. Blodgett is. We watched
Never
a
seen
lot
the
of
Gilmore
Gilmore Girls.
That's
And
not the dad. No.
I don't know. And lots of other cameos on random animated shows and video games like Fallout. He was a bunch of like
He's a voice actor.
miscellaneous. He's a very big voice
That's
actor.
cool.
Tammy Stronach is the Empress, the childlike Empress. Apparently, in the movie, she's as old as stories have been told. So she's not really a child.
So
she's
she-
actually like super old.
Old.
She old. Oh yeah, she old.
She's infinite time. She's like with the start of time and the end of time.
That
She
one.
is time.
She is time. She's old as time.
She's the story.
She didn't do anything after this. That was like her one big movie.
Wow. Not even the sequel.
She didn't even do this. She
Not even the
barely
sequels.
did this.
She-
she was.
She literally
She
did
was in
the
20
ending
minutes.
Of this movie. Not even 20 minutes.
She was giving me some
Yeah,
good
she-
face though. She
No,
was screaming
she
at
was
Noah.
Great. Like, she was great. Like for the
When she looked at the
42
camera and
seconds.
started crying, I felt very
It was-
uncomfortable. But the
Me
rest of that was
too.
great.
But that's
I
how
mean,
you're supposed to feel.
I-
You wanted to feel like you needed to help her, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I did feel like I wanted to help her,
saw
help her get off that set.
emotion.
Jesus
It was-
Christ,
These kids are really good at what
Yeah,
they're doing.
They are good actors.
So I'm glad no one pointed it out, but apparently Tammy, the Empress, lost both of her front teeth before filming. So she wore fake teeth, which caused her to have a lisp until she got used to them.
Oh yeet, I didn't.
She
didn't
spoke
see
very
that.
like slowly and very soft
Very
to like even
carefully.
notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got through that lisp.
Yeah. And I was staring at her teeth, and I was like, damn, they did some great work on them teeth.
That's funny. You knew to look at that.
Mm-hmm. Film score of the Neverending Story was composed by Klaus Doldinger, a saxophonist of the German jazz group Passport. don't know if you guys have heard of that.
No.
Okay. He received the Bavarian Film Prize for his work on the film. But the Neverending Story theme song was composed by Giorgio Moroder. You guys are not going to recognize the name, but this was right after he discovered and produced Donna Summer in the late 70s.
Oh.
Causing him to be dubbed the father of disco, Donna being the queen of disco.
That makes sense.
So he was he was like in his prime.
It was a really fun song.
Yeah, it was
to,
very
kick
like
it
80s,
off.
very like
Yeah.
electro
I
pop.
love it.
He also founded Musicland Studios, which ended up producing the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Queen, Elton John, lots of famous people.
Oh.
So right before all these famous people and right after discovering Donna Summer, he just, let me work on the Neverending Story. Let me just make a theme song for this kid's movie.
Did he just do the song, or did he score the whole movie?
He only did the song. The score was done by the Klaus Doldinger because that was all done not in German, but he was in a German jazz group. So that all that was very German themed, whereas the theme song they made for the American version.
That makes sense.
This is just
Beautiful.
a random fun fact. I know none of us have seen Stranger Things, but in the final episode of the 3rd season, Dustin and Susie start singing the Neverending Story towards the end of the episode because Stranger Things takes place in 1985.
I literally said that so many times.
What, Stranger Things?
No, yeah, I said at the beginning of the movie and at the end when both the times the theme song came on. I said, "Oh, didn't they sing this in Stranger Things?" I haven't seen it, but there's a meme, and that's why I was singing the song. Nathan Levi everywhere. That's why I knew that melody because of
That's interesting.
TikTok.
Because I've heard the thing like everywhere. Like I feel like that's like a pop culture reference. Like I've seen in Family Guy, Peter will ride the dragon. He's done it twice so far in the show. So I just figured you heard it from there.
Wow, he no, I heard it from TikTok.
That's crazy that you know that because we definitely did not finish Stranger Things season 3, but it
Neither
makes me
did I.
want to finish it. I would love to reach that moment.
Yeah, and that kid's a good singer.
Some other fun facts for ya. There's a famous Korn album, Korn with a K, the band, named The Nothing, directly in reference to the Nothing in the film.
Oh.
Yes. It was nominated for Best Fantasy Film in 1985, but lost to
Star Wars?
1985.
Don't tell me.
Oh, Back to the Future.
No. It's a big movie.
Don't tell me. Don't say
Oh
it.
my
Don't say
God,
it.
Teen Wolf? No,
No.
that came out a couple years later.
No, a fantasy movie in
Best fantasy
1985.
film
a
in
fantasy movie.
1985. This movie came out in 1984, so 4 and 5 because this came out late. 84.
Because
Fantasy.
It has a really good theme song.
Fantasy.
it's not The Wizard of Oz, because that's really old.
It has a really good theme song.
Is it Ghostbusters?
Yeah! Woo! So happy!
Oh my god.
Yes!
Yeah, we gotta watch that next.
Yeah.
They have a
Good
great
job,
song.
babe. Good
Ghostbusters
job.
snagged the title from them.
It was the theme song.
Hey! Alright.
Yeah.
It was also this one's gonna fucking throw you for a spin. It was nominated for Best Music in 1985, but lost to
Best music?
Best Music.
Lost to...
I want to give you guys some
But
time to
lost
guess,
to
but
who?
you're not gonna
Is it a
guess.
musical?
It's not a musical.
Yeah,
I've never
I'm
seen
not
this
gonna- I don't-
movie,
but Lost to
but
Back
I
to the Future.
really don't
Oh.
think that there's a lot of great music in this for it to snag the title like it did.
What was it? Just tell me.
Nominated for Best Music in 1985, but lost to Gremlins.
Gremlins? I
What?
was not
What the
gonna guess
fuck?
that.
What?
I was
does
not,
not
gonna guess
sound-
that, but I think we
No.
have that movie.
No, we do not. Do we really?
There's no way.
If we do, we gotta watch it for the pod because I want to hear how good this fucking music is in Gremlins that it beat out the Neverending Story, this magical ass movie.
I know my
Yeah.
parents have it, so we can borrow
What
it.
the fuck?
Oh man, that really got my blood boiling.
Gremlins.
I used to
Don't
not like
feed
that
'em
movie.
After midnight.
Oh god. So the original Orin, the little double-headed snake that eats itself, is now hanging in an enclosed glass display in Steven Spielberg's office because he liked the movie so much.
Oh.
Was he even in?
Wow.
Like,
He was
Sounds
not
like
in the
a Steven
movie, but he was like a
Spielberg
big
thing to do.
director at the time, so I'm guessing he had enough sway to pluck that shit right off a set.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it is weird.
But it's nice to know that Steven Spielberg's got some taste.
He was on set. He just stole it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So 2 scenes from the book were written in the script, but ultimately scrapped due to special effects limitations at the time. The first was the initial appearance of Falkor, where Atreyu rescues him from Yggdrasil the Many, a swarm of poisonous wasps taking the form of a giant spider.
Okay.
So
Oh,
You
what
can-
the fuck?
Tarantula
a bunch of wasps
spiders.
forming
yeah,
a
so you can see
spider?
how that's a little hard to do
Oh,
in
tarantula
1985.
wasp.
Tarantula wasp. wasp spider.
Yeah, but I would also be mad being the writer if Falkor was supposed to be saved by him and then instead he saved Falkor. I mean, Falkor saved
Yeah.
him.
Exactly. So this was
That's
replaced to where Bastion screams being heard by the characters in the book having taken place, and also explains why Atreyu and Falkor are later seen giving some medicine by the gnomes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
They're gnomes?
I guess there were
The really
gnomes.
short
Yeah.
people?
Once I read that, I was like, oh, I guess they're gnomes. But yeah, there were short people and they were gnomes.
The dude that you said looks like Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
Well, the wife is the one who.
That's
Oh
a
yeah, they're
gnome.
gnomes. But the wife is the one who gives them the giant medicine shot, some juicy
Yeah.
vitamins.
But those two are the gnomes.
And there was a second scene cut where it involved Atreyu and Falkor encountering the wind giants, giant creatures made of clouds, and being caught in a fight between them.
They could have totally done that
Ooh.
because they use like
Yeah,
smoking
they could
clouds
have.
left and right.
There was so much wind. There were so many wind
Yeah.
effects.
And this was re-edited into their close encounter with the Nothing before Atreyu falls into the sea. So that's where that would have taken place.
Wow.
I guess they would have been pushed around by wind giants and then he falls. Do you guys want to guess how much this movie cost to make?
It looks like semi-expensive. I mean, I wish I had like something to kind of like reference it to. And it's also like 1984, so let me see.
Yeah, so the dollars are a little bit like
Mhm.
off, you know?
I'm gonna say. I want to say 15 million, but I
You
feel
said
it's more than
15?
that. Yeah, I want to say 30 million.
Yeah, my God, that sounds about right.
Do you want to give me a different answer so we can do a Price is Right? See
Yeah.
who's higher or lower?
I'm gonna say. Can I give you like a frame?
You can give me a ballpark, sure.
Okay, so I want to say between 18 and 28 million.
Gotcha. And what about you, Ryan? You're sticking at 30 million?
I'll go. Fuck. I don't know. Like a big part of me is like maybe it just costs like a couple $100,000, but
I feel like that's too low. Everything is so like complex.
without going over, I'm gonna say okay. Since we're doing prices right, I'm gonna say $200,000.
200. Oh, so everything below what he said.
Yeah, everything below what
All
we
right.
said.
So at the time of this release, it was the most expensive film to be produced in Germany. It was also the most expensive film to
Damn.
be filmed outside of the United States or Soviet Union. Film production had a
Damn.
budget of 60 million Deutschmarks,
Damn.
which equates to
Oh, how many-
$27 million US dollars. Like,
Babe,
right in there.
you got
I was
so
gonna say 28.
close. Wow.
If you would have said 28, I would have been blown away. And 30 was pretty close. That was your first guess, Ryan.
Yeah. Wow. Good job.
So,
guys.
do you guys think we made our money back?
If I would have seen this movie in the 80s, definitely. But watching it now, I mean, it was still like a fun adventure. It was. I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to watch it again.
Do you think the box office made more than the budget, or do you think they lost money in this movie?
I think.
I think they made money on the movie.
Could have, but it depends on
They
like
had to
it
have,
depends
because they
on,
made
like,
a
the
sequel.
Expectations that people have like going into this movie, because if you're thinking of
Mhm.
like any other kind of like mystical like magic movie that came out around this time, like when did Dark Crystal come out? 1982. That came out before.
Yeah.
So
So already people were introduced to this kind of like dark
exactly.
magical.
So like if you had already like seen something that's magical and somehow maybe could have done it better, then it really just depends on that.
The only reason I'm gonna say that it did make enough money is because if I was a studio exec and someone said, "Hey, okay, so we're gonna make the Neverending Story 2," if it didn't make any money off the first one, I would not greenlight the second
Mhm.
one.
And we got a third one in production. So
Yeah. So you're absolutely
Exactly.
right.
So
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, yeah, especially for the time that it was, like I feel like that was very crucial in like continuing like a story.
yeah, if it actually made money.
you need money to make money,
Exactly.
bruh.
So this film performed very well at the box office, grossing $100 million worldwide.
Wow.
Hey,
20 million coming
good
from
job.
Germany itself, which is a number rarely achieved in German productions. So it was a huge achievement for Germany in general.
Well, good.
All right. Nice little happy ending.
Proud of them.
All right, so that is the end of my notes. You guys have any final thoughts about the movie? Are you guys excited to watch the sequels?
Wow.
Are we wanted to leave it closed right here?
A final thought. I don't know. I like it. I'm willing to see the other ones. Might have to see if we even get any content out of them because I don't know. I'm interested, but I don't know.
It's definitely
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Watch and experience
Yeah.
at least once.
You don't have
But
a.
I do feel like I want to watch it again just so that way I can like absorb it a little bit better.
Yeah, pay attention to it.
Yeah, I agree
Okay,
with
But we're
that.
at least open to
I
the
mean, I
sequel.
feel like I paid attention enough, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm open to the sequel. So, Justin, you've been doing a lot of talking. I just want to know, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel like I just saved the entire world of Fantasia from the nothing with my single wish, and now I am riding on my luck dragon, screaming, "Yeah!"
Okay.
How do you feel,
I
baby?
love it, babe.
I feel like I just went down this road of what the hell and what the fuck and, but it like, I don't know. In the end, it didn't make any sense, but it was still fun. I feel great. I feel like I experienced something new, and I'm open to what's next.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Ryan, how you feeling over there?
You know, my sentiments are very much aligned with Babe's. I feel like I just went on this giant journey just to come back to this temple, and for this bitch to just tell me she knew all along. You couldn't just tell me before I left the temple.
Exactly.
I went and I did a thing.
Wow, that seems pretty appropriate.
So that's how I'm feeling.
All right. Well, if you guys are still listening, thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. This was How We Feel, the podcast.
You can follow us at Rusty Studios, Rusty Ninja Studios on Twitter, FireVex on Twitter, Baby J on Instagram.
Neverending Story.
Neverending
This is how we feel. 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 This is how we feel.
That was the one.
Ooh, that was good.
Last one was
I felt the harmony.